Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is directed by Sam Raimi, who I think is most notable for directing Oz the Great and Powerful. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. Spider-Man 1, 2, 3, Evil Dead 1 and 2, and Army of Darkness. You know, everyone loves Sam Raimi. This is the newest MCU film, and this tells a story of Doctor Strange, Stephen Strange, having to protect a little girl named America Chavez who has the power to transfer and teleport between different multiverses. She doesn't know how she can do it, but she does. And she's being hunted down by Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, who wants to take her powers for herself as she's being controlled by the Darkhold, which is a book that contains more evil ways of witchcraft. She wants to use it so she can travel to other multiverses and be with her kids that she couldn't have in the WandaVision show. I had an absolute blast watching this film. I saw this with my grandma. I could have seen it opening weekend, but I didn't because I wanted to come back home to see it with her after I was done with my job down in Los Angeles. But I saw it about 3 weeks ago, and I can say I really enjoyed it. But it's not perfect. I do have my issues with it. I just want to get the issues that I have out of the way first before I talk about all the positives. Um, the pacing is off for me because we start off with an action scene. It's really fast. It's a cool action scene, and then it kind of slows down a little. We get into the Doctor Strange, Stephen Strange stuff. You know, he goes to Christine's wedding. I'm gonna spoil the film because it's been out for a while, and I do have a lot of stuff that involves spoilers, more so with my issues. Some good stuff to talk about, but anyways, the pacing. We start off really fast, and then it just dips because the second act is really slow when we're not doing a lot of action stuff and where we're trying to delve more into the character stuff. So we start with an action scene with Doctor Strange that isn't our Doctor Strange trying to protect America Chavez, but he ultimately dies when he tries to take America Chavez's power for himself because the demon that's after her wants the power for it. And then we go to a wedding where we see regular Stephen Strange accepting the fact that he can't be with Christine. And this is important later on in the film because it's about Doctor Strange having to make sacrifices for the greater good, the ultimate greater good. And then we're thrown into an action scene where America Chavez is running away from a giant squid monster thing. It was really cool, it was really fun, really bloody, really, not really gory, but there are some gore elements in it. And a lot of the horror aspects of this film, actually all the horror aspects of this film, are because of Sam Raimi. That is his stuff. There's a cool prosthetic later on in the film where Doctor Strange is under the control of the Darkhold, and he's doing this thing where he's controlling the dead body of a Doctor Strange from the beginning of the film because he's in another multiverse. But in our universe, he's controlling the dead body of the Doctor Strange there, and there's a cool prosthetic where he's like all ripped up and stuff, and his mouth is moving. And it looked really cool. That's Sam Raimi stuff right there. All the horror aspects, bodies being decapitated, blood stuff, anything involving deaths. That's Sam Raimi right there. That's his twist. That's his unique direction he brought onto this film. And although I'm sad that Scott Derrickson didn't get to direct this film due to creative differences, I am happy that Sam Raimi directed this film. I'm happy that he was able to bring something more unique to the MCU. Back to the pacing though, the film does get really slow in the second act because we see Wanda going to this place in a mountain, and that part's really slow because Wong has to take her there. We see Doctor Strange and America Chavez in this universe where the Illuminati is, and that part's as cool as it was to see those characters. Um, Professor X, John Krasinski as Reed Richards. We get to see another Captain Marvel. We see this character called Black Bolt who has like tongues on his head, and he could use his mouth to create sound waves to kill people. That's a cool idea. That's a cool concept. And we see the goddess Haley Atwell as Peggy Carter as Captain Carter. That's really cool. I love that. I love the character of Peggy Carter. I love the Agent Carter show. I've only seen season one. But back to the issue of pacing. The second act is really slow, and I like that we got to jump into the action in the beginning, but it just gets really slow after that, and then the third act happens. So I know the pacing's an issue that everyone has, but it's just an issue that I have too. Um, Another issue I have is the connection to the rest of the MCU, because to fully understand Wanda's grief and her pain, you have to watch the WandaVision show. And even that's kind of that's its own thing to get through. With my own issues I have with the show, everyone goes, "Oh my God, WandaVision's amazing. It's good. It's good. I like it. I like the WandaVision show inside the show, but its connection to the rest of the MCU, rather than being its own thing and setting up the rest of the stuff, is rather, it's something to get through." And even then, showing the Illuminati, people going with expectations, going, "Wow, we get to see these new characters that we've always wanted to see," and then they all die off, and it's just like, wow, so underwhelming. They barely had any screen time, and now people are complaining about the Reed Richards suit, saying that the 2005 version of Reed Richards suit looked better. Like, you guys are just finding things to complain about now. Like, you're just digging so much for that. Come on. I like a lot of the ideas presented in these films. In a Doctor Strange film, he had to sacrifice himself fighting Dormammu for all eternity, or that's what could have happened, for the greater good. He had to sacrifice what he wanted. And he had to ultimately become the Sorcerer Supreme, because he only wanted to go into that school for magic because he wanted to fix his hands. But he realized that there was more at stake than just himself. I like that idea. And in this film, the thing at stake is his relationship with Christine, because Christine's getting married and he can't be with her. Even in the other multiverses, he can't be with her because there's more at stake than just him being with her, because he wants to do his own thing and Christine can't accept that, and it's understandable, and he has to give that up, and he has to ultimately sacrifice himself, letting the Darkhold control him. Not control him, but he has to give himself into the Darkhold and let the damned control his body, and then he ends up controlling them to ultimately defeat Wanda. Other praises I have for the film: Sam Raimi's direction. I was surprised to see that Danny Elfman composed the score. There was a lot of pieces that I found really enjoyable. Different rendition of the Doctor Strange theme, some more horror pieces that really suited with the Doctor Strange body being used, the dead body. Just I liked a lot of the pieces, although I'm struggling to remember anything right now. I do remember watching the film and thinking, wow, this piece of music works for this. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was Michael Giacchino. It sounded like Michael Giacchino, but no, it was Danny Elfman. And I totally forgot Danny Elfman was going to compose the film. I like all the action scenes. I think they're fun. I like the camera movements on them. I like all the special effects. I didn't really have any issues with the special effects, but people said that Reed Richards' suit looked worse special effects wise and just design wise, but I think they're just being babies about it because Reed Richards wasn't in the film a lot. Whatever. There are some jokes in the film. Some jokes don't land, some jokes do land, and the jokes that landed I thought were really funny. Final thoughts. I'm not sure what else I can talk about. I will be more descriptive, but I did say this a couple weeks ago. The special effects are great. I like the action. I really like all of the horror-esque elements. Captain Carter, her body gets cut in half because Wanda throws a shield back at her. Reed Richards gets spaghettified and his head blows up. Black Bolt's mouth gets put together in one piece, and he tries to scream, but it just blows out his head. Charles Xavier goes into Wanda's mind, and his head gets snapped because he can't control Wanda. And we see that Wanda wants to get out, but the Darkhold's controlling her, ultimately making her this evil psychopath. I like the Doctor Strange character, and I like the art that he goes through. It felt like there was some weight to it, actually, and, that's really cool. Feeling like there's consequences to the actions of these characters. The score was cool, not memorable because I can't really remember anything aside from the Doctor Strange theme, but I remember enjoying it while watching the film. Sam Raimi did a great job directing. He brought his own unique twist to the MCU, and it's one of the more unique MCU films, one of the more interesting looking films. Doesn't look boring, doesn't look like it's just shot reverse shot. There's a lot of interesting shots, a lot of cool hand-to-hand stuff, and a lot of great visual effects fights. The biggest complaint I can really have is the pacing. It's off. It's fast, then it's really slow. Then it's fast, and then it's really slow. And it makes the film feel a lot longer than 2 hours and 6 minutes. But overall, I enjoyed this film. I had a blast. I thought it was really fun. I have my issues with it, but it is an enjoyable film. It is an enjoyable Doctor Strange film. I will give this film a B. It's not fantastic, but it's not as terrible as people are making it out to be. So, what did you think about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Did you like it like I did? Tell me what you thought about it in the comments below, and I'll be back with more movie and show reviews. So, bye.